Welcome, my constant reader friends and other stuff. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. Okay, so this is the second video in a video series that we are doing. It's a partnership video in conjunction with Graz at his channel, the GKBC, and Bart at his channel, Book Rising with Bart J. Gilbertson. Now, this is part 2 of a 2-part series, counting down from 20 to number 1, our favorite top all-time bands / artists. The first video, of course, was 20 through 11. This video is 10 through 1. Now, a really cool thing happened. We decided to collaborate, and kind of put these videos out. We didn't know, what bands each person was going to discuss or choose, how we were going to rate them or anything like that. And what happened was another YouTuber saw our videos and said, I guess, hey, this is cool. I'm going to do it too. So I'm going to link his channel below in the comments. His channel is it's called Poorly Timed Channel. And he has done his first video as well, 20 through 11. This video will be released on Friday. He's going to release his as well from 10 to 1. I can't wait to see what his top 10 bands / artists are. Now, why I'm so happy with this is because, we didn't set this out like a tag video or anything like that, tagging other creators. We just, got together, the three of us, and decided to put this out. My whole thing is, if this is great, if you, watch these videos and you're a content creator, you don't have to be a booktube channel or anything like that. But music touches you some way, and you think it's really cool, do it. Let's do it. Everybody do it. Make a 20. I'd just love to see them. Make a 20 to 11 and a 10 to 1 video of your favorite band or artists. Really, there's something. I was super nervous about doing this video, to be honest with you. I can suffer from analysis paralysis, and especially if it's something that I really love, like books or music. Picking the top 20, I didn't know if I could do it, but what I didn't realize was how fun it was going to be. I don't know what it is about music, even more than like pictures or movies or videos. Music, you hear a song and it will immediately transport you to another time, place. You can smell the smells, taste the taste, see the colors and the people. It's amazing. Music is amazing, and it can transport you in time like nothing else. And while I was doing this video, when I didn't know it was going to be that fun and nostalgic, just looking back at these bands and why they're so important to me. Because like I said, any day there could be different bands on this list. So one of the things I made a mistake. I was going to list some honorable mentions at the end of the countdown. And I saw the other guys' videos and I'm like, you know what? That's kind of stupid. It's kind of counterproductive. Who's going to want to watch my video after I get to 1 for the, the extras? They're going to be done. I gave you my number 1. So I made a list of some honorable mentions. And if you saw the first video, my list is crazy. I just started jotting down things. I'm just going to read through them kind of real quick. You know me, though. I'll get off on a tangent for sure, even right at the top here. Tragically Hip. If you've never heard of Tragically Hip, oh my God. They're a Canadian band. Unfortunately, their lead singer, Gordy, passed away from a brain tumor. But their music is amazing. Tragically Hip, listen to them. Another Canadian band, I Mother Earth. 4 albums. You've probably never heard of them. Amazing band. Jellyfish. Jellyfish has 2 albums, and they almost made my list. It's amazing music. Marillion. Till Tuesday. I have every Till Tuesday album. I think Amy Mann is amazing, and they could have been on my list. Meatloaf. I mean, what can you say? Meatloaf, one of the greatest rock and roll singers of all time. Steely Dan. Yes. Asia. Night Ranger. I've seen Night Ranger twice. They're amazing. The Clash. Sex Pistols. Dead Kennedys. David Bowie. David Bowie could be on my list. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Come on. If you don't want to dance every time you hear Earth, Wind, and Fire song, there's something wrong with you. The Platters. When I was a little kid, my mother used to play the Platters all the time. I'll tell you what, I love the Platters. They were this close to making my list. Any album with the Platters, I know every song. And some other thing. Thelonious Monk. Miles Davis. And last, I promise I'm done. Richie Havens. I gotta say some things about Richie Havens. Richie Havens, this close to making my list. If you don't know who Richie Havens was, Richie Havens opened Woodstock, 1969. I'll just tell you a little story. You know, all these people, thousands and thousands of people were showing up in this field in Woodstock, New York. And, you know, the counterculture, whatever you want to call it, to see these bands. And they had a stage, and no one was playing, no one was doing anything. The cars were, you know, piled up for miles, people just coming from everywhere. It got to the point, basically, it was a free concert. People just coming from everywhere. The bands couldn't get there. They had to start getting helicopters to fly the bands in there. And the people were putting this concert together. It wasn't the most professional thing in the world. They didn't plan properly. But anyways, you know, people are getting restless. They're like, we got to get somebody on stage. Somebody's got to play. And Richie Havens happened to be there. And he's basically backstage. He's like, okay, hold my joint, you know. He goes on stage. It's him, a rhythm guitar player, and a djembe player. Guy's playing 2 djembes. Richie and this other guy, I wish I knew their names, playing acoustic guitar. Oh my God. Look up Freedom by Richie Havens, Woodstock 1969. It's amazing. If we were doing top 20 live performances, this definitely would be on my list. After I saw that, anything I could get my hands on, Richie Havens. When you know, when you're having those days, you know, your heart's hurt or your mind's hurt, I can listen to Richie Havens. Hell, I named my son Haven. So, all right, let's get into it. We got to get into this. I'm sorry for taking up so much time. You know how I get off on tangents. All right, let's start at number 10. We're at number 10 now. Pretty much most of these bands have pretty much been on my top 10 for quite a while. Again, a lot of those bands I just named could be there at any time. But let's start with number 10. The Bee Gees. Saturday Night Fever. Oh my gosh. So the Bee Gees are considered a pop music group, later to be known as the Kings of Disco, of course. They were actually formed in, get this, 1958. Yep, they were formed in originally Manchester, England. They were known as a skiffle band, skiffle / rock band, I guess. And they were known as the Rattlesnakes. You can find old videos of the Bee Gees when they were just little bitty kids singing. It's pretty cool. You can find it. But then they moved to Australia, and that's when they became the Bee Gees. So a lot of people think of them as an Australian band, but they actually started in Manchester, England. So the Bee Gees, the estimate is 225 million albums sold worldwide. That is crazy. I looked this up. Only Elvis Presley, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, and Garth Brooks have sold more albums than the Bee Gees. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997, and they are the third most successful Billboard chart band of all time, only behind the Beatles and the Supremes. That's freaking awesome. I'll tell you, my first introduction to the Bee Gees was, so I'm from upstate New York and I played hockey. When you're a kid playing hockey, you're going to hockey practice like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. My dad was driving me to practice one morning and it was freezing outside. And he's like, let's turn on some music to get the blood flowing. He turns on the car stereo, radio, and Tragedy by the Bee Gees was on. And I was like, what is this? At the time, Have You Never Been Mellow by Olivia Newton-John was my all-time favorite song. We can talk about Olivia Newton-John forever. She should be on my list. But then after that, Tragedy became my favorite song. And ever since then, I've been a huge Bee Gees fan. Bee Gees, number 10 on my list. All right, next. Number 9. All right. Again, these could be in any order, really. Top 10, pretty good, though. Rush. This is Moving Pictures. I mean, what can I say about Rush? A trio, Canadian band. So now we mentioned a Canadian band. Now, Tragically Hip by Mother Earth. Rush. I mean, I could go Loverboy. We go through a bunch of Canadian bands. But Rush is originally a Canadian band. Formed in Toronto in 1968. Over 42 million copies sold worldwide. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2013. There's not much I really have to say about Rush. Amazing rock band. Actually, progressive rock. Vocals are crazy. Musicianship is crazy. Geddy Lee is amazing. Geddy Lee, I have one of his solo albums, really good, actually. Rush, my introduction to Rush was my sister's boyfriend, eventually became her husband, played in a rock band. And he gave me, as a present, a Sony Walkman. Remember those Sony Walkmans? Gave me a Sony Walkman and a tape. And the tape was a compilation tape that he made of Rush songs. That was my introduction into Rush. I've loved Rush ever since. They're my number 9 band of all time today. All right, let's move on. Number 8. Oh my goodness. Whew. All right. Daryl Hall, John Oates. They could be higher on my list. Probably one of absolutely my all-time favorite bands. Funny thing, doing some research. So most people call them Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates, right? Daryl says, no, the name of the band is Daryl Hall / John Oates. Daryl Hall, John Oates is the name of the band, not Hall & Oates. Everyone knows it, Hall & Oates, right? So, what are they? An American pop duo. Now, pop rock duo is an important distinction because, well, first, they were formed in Philadelphia in 1970. Now, why is the distinction of them being a duo so important? Well, because they are the number 1 top Billboard charting duos of all time. Even ahead of the Carpenters, which could be on my list. I freaking love the Carpenters. The Everly Brothers and Simon and Garfunkel. Holy crap, Tad. Why isn't Simon and Garfunkel on your list? See what I mean? It's hard. Daryl Hall, John Oates. That's crazy. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2016. A cool thing, if you haven't seen Live at Daryl's House, gotta check it out. There's videos all over YouTube. Live at Daryl's, he actually he performs in his house, and what he does is he brings other groups or acts or people in, and what they'll do is they'll do a couple of their songs live, and they'll do a couple of his songs live, Hall & Oates songs or whatever, and it's awesome. You got to see it. Look it up on YouTube. The CeeLo Green one is awesome. He did one with Train. He's done some with everybody. Got to check it out. Great show. All right, that's number 7 or number 8. Oh, Daryl Hall, John Oates. Number 7. Oh no, jeez. See what I'm... ELO. Holy crap, do I love ELO. If you don't know ELO, I don't know what to tell you. It's funny, I'm looking at the songs on this. This is the very best of ELO. Look at their albums. They always had some cool stuff. Thank God for reprinted albums. Really, this is a reprint. It's really cool. I'm not going to pull it out. It's actually in a video I did on my channel a little while before. So ELO is an English rock band formed in Birmingham, England in 1970. Jeff Lynne, Roy Wood, and Bev Bevan were the ones who started the band together. Originally, they were called The Move, and then later became ELO. They've sold over 50 million albums. I'm laughing at this because I'm looking on the back here, and I see Xanadu. Now, if y'all don't know Xanadu, it's a movie. It's a strange movie about roller skating, and it stars Olivia Newton-John. So it's funny, we're talking about Olivia Newton-John, and now I'm bringing her back up. The soundtrack for that album is really cool. The first half of the soundtrack is Olivia Newton-John, and then the other half is ELO. Corny movie, but Fred Astaire's in it. I mean, it's the music is really freaking awesome. Olivia Newton-John, I mean, again, she should be on my list. All right, guys, I know a lot of the guys, you know, my age, they had Farrah Fawcett posters on their wall. I understand, but I had Olivia Newton-John on my wall. I have loved her, I don't know, forever. It's sad that she's passed away. All right, anyways, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017. That's pretty good. I saw them in, you're going to believe this, in Stuttgart, Germany in 1986 when I was in the military. I just happened to be there, and I got to go to this show. I see them, and that was like their last show. After that, they broke up. Now they went on to do, there was ELO 2 without Jeff Lynne, and then there was just orchestra without Jeff Lynne, and then just recently, 10 years ago maybe, 2014 I guess, Jeff Lynne, came back and did ELO, Jeff Lynne featuring ELO. They've gone through some changes, let's say. But I am always going to be a huge fan of ELO. All right. Move on, Tad. Number 6. Oh, Jesus. This band could be higher. Oh my God, this. All right. Prince. I'm holding up Purple Rain, Prince and the Revolution. But anything by Prince is amazing. Prince is an American singer, songwriter, musician, producer, actor, and teacher. I'll tell you a quick story. I played in a band with this bass player, really good, and he told me this story. He actually went to Juilliard and studied music theory in Juilliard. And he said one day he's sitting in class, and the professor is standing there and says, "Well, we have a guest professor today." And this short guy, walks in with a fedora over his face, big sunglasses, and a trench coat. And he goes up to the podium and he takes everything off, and it's Prince. And Prince was their guest professor teaching music theory in Juilliard. Can you believe that? That's amazing to me. Anyways, he's producer. Oftentimes he would play all the instruments, write the songs, record the songs, perform the songs, everything. Engineer the songs, promote he's one of those one-man bands. He signed his first record deal when he was 19 years old with Warner Brothers, and his first album was in 1978. He's sold, I don't have exact numbers. None of these I have exact numbers, but he sold well over 100 million albums worldwide. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004. Again, another sad, tragic loss to the entertainment community. Prince, I don't care. I could listen to him all day, every day. I'm at a loss for words. I can't think of anything else more to say. Number 5. Here we go again. Probably these top 5 have probably always, as long as I can remember, been my top 5. So, without further ado, Queen. Yep. A British rock and roll band formed in London, England in 1970. Brian May, Roger Taylor actually were in this band called Smile. And Freddie Mercury used to go and stand in the crowd and watch them and would sing and stuff better than their singer, in the crowd. And he started hounding them. He wanted to be in a band so bad, Freddie. And he would hound them backstage and stuff constantly. And finally, they got him. And once he got in the band, changed the name to Queen. The rest is history. Another amazing, one of the greatest live performances you're ever going to see. If you haven't seen it, 1985 Live Aid concert. That live show at Wembley Stadium is amazing. He performed that sick. Some people have said he already knew that he had AIDS at that time. I don't know. There's a cool movie out. You should see that. Again, no exact numbers, but well above 200 million albums sold worldwide. It's just crazy. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003, and unfortunately, one of the bands I never saw in my life. I will tell you, wow, a lot of these that I'm talking about, I've just realized are soundtrack albums. This one that I chose here is Queen, A Kind of Magic. This is my favorite Queen album. I know everybody, there's tons of them. I mean, my first experience with Queen is Another One Bites the Dust. You know, I used to have this little Philco radio. I don't know if you all remember this. It was a little handheld Philco radio, and it had a little earplug that you plug in. It was just single. You put it in your ear and tune it. You know, it was a radio. Tune it 9-volt. And I used to listen to it while I did my homework when I was a kid, because I had to use that ear thing, because if my mom would have heard, you know, me playing music while I was supposed to be doing my homework, she would have had a fit. So I would listen to it, and I heard Another One Bites the Dust. I'll never forget hearing Another One Bites the Dust. It was my first experience with Queen. And then I found out that album, if you've seen that album cover, it's a painting of this giant robot, and he's got like the band members in his hand, and there's blood, he's killing them. There's blood dripping down from him. Oh, awesome. But this one, A Kind of Magic, is my favorite Queen album. Every song on this is freaking amazing, but a lot of the songs from this album were featured in Highlander, the original Highlander movie. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, Queen, number 5. They could be higher. I'm just putting it out there. Number 4. Oh my God. Jesus. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show this. Yeah, Pink Floyd. Just an amazing, amazing band. This album. This movie. Again, another movie. Changed my life. An English rock band. Really a psychedelic rock band. Formed in London in 1965. Record sales exceed 250 million worldwide. I had the pleasure of seeing them years ago in Florida. Amazing show. I got to see them another time, and just a couple years ago, I was able to introduce my son Haven at this concert here. Roger Waters' The Wall, live in Boston at Fenway Park. And what a freaking show that was. Holy crap, I've got videos of it. Of course, now my son is a huge Pink Floyd fan. I don't know what else to say about them. This is absolutely one of my every album. I could listen to them all day. Pink Floyd, number 4. Number 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh. Number 3, Van Halen. Look at these dudes. Look at these cats when they were younger. Yeah, this is women and children first, but holy crap, when I heard Run with the Devil the first time, ooh, David Lee Roth. I mean, like I said, I'm a singer, so any band with an amazing singer, I'm in. You know, one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Eddie recently passed away as well. But, all right, Van Halen, an American band formed in Pasadena, California in 1972. They've got close to, they say, 100 million albums sold worldwide. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2007. I saw them first in Florida. It was the Diver Down tour in 1982. The ticket cost $10.75. Could you imagine that nowadays? $10.72. 75 cents to see Van Halen. Oh my God. They start off with Alex, you know, just playing the drums, just going crazy on the drums. He's got this big gong behind him, and the lights are just on him. He's the only one on stage that you can see. And then he hits the crash, and the lights go, whew, and here comes David Lee Roth doing a split in the air over Alex, and the drum set lands on the stage, singing. Holy crap, what a band. Whew, Van Halen. And you know, I really don't even know what else to say about Van Halen. I'll tell you though, Michael Anthony, the bass player, is, I think, one of the greatest backing vocalists of all time. Listen to these songs. Michael Anthony's a singer. Michael Anthony's awesome. Anyways, Van Halen, number 3, all time, greatest bands on my list. All right, we're down finally to the final 2. I know these videos are taking forever. I'm sorry, but I just get a little excited here. All right. This would be my number 1 band of all time. However, these 2 bands, the last 2, are not interchangeable. Number 2 is number 2, will always be number 2. Number 1 is number 1, and you'll see, and will always, excuse me, geez, my throat, be number 1. All right, stop dilly-dallying around. Styx. Yep. This is my number 2 band of all time. This is the Paradise Theater album. Really cool album. Look at those guys. Oh my God. Really cool story. A couple cool stories. But let me do the numbers first, Ted. Don't get ahead of yourself. American rock and roll band from Chicago. Formed in 1972. Oh my gosh. Why isn't Chicago on my list? Another great, amazing band. Ugh. Anyways, formed in 1972. Over 60 million copies sold. They have not been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What the hell is that? They've been nominated. They just haven't made the cut. Progressive rock, one of the greatest of all time. For me anyways. Every single song is awesome. Whew, let me tell you just a couple stories. This album I actually got as a present when I was talking about playing hockey. I played hockey in Canada, and sometimes we'd go up to Canada and stay with a family up there, and then vice versa. They would come down and stay with us for a while, and I stayed with a French-Canadian family and played hockey in Canada for a while. And when I left to come home, go back to New York, upstate New York, they gave me this album, Paradise Theater, Styx. And I didn't remember even maybe talking about Styx, but they must have known that it was my favorite at the time, my second favorite band of all time, and they gave this to me. I just think that's cool. What happened to me? I was, a lot of hockey, right? I was playing hockey, and back when I was a kid, you played outdoors too. We were playing hockey outdoors, and my buddy's older brother pulled into the parking lot and started doing donuts in the snow. He drove, this is cool, he drove a Zebra 3, 1975, 351 Windsor V8 two-door Gran Torino. It was the Starsky and Hutchmobile. If y'all have seen Starsky and Hutch. Tomato red with that white stripe. Doing donuts in the parking lot while we're playing hockey. blasting Styx, Renegade. And I just stopped. I was mesmerized by this, well, what I was seeing, plus the music that was coming out of that car. And it was Renegade by Styx. I had to go to I went to my friend's house after the game. People were yelling at me, get back in the game. And I said, I had to find out, who was that band? Who was that? And he had an 8-track. It's off Pieces of 8. I should have brought Pieces of 8 out here. Pieces of 8. He had an 8-track in that Gran Torino, listening to Styx. From that moment on, Tragedy no longer was my favorite song. It was Renegade by Styx. And I've been a huge fan of Styx ever since. I've seen them, I don't know, 8-10 times. I saw the Paradise Theater tour. It was amazing. It was like, you know, a movie on stage. I saw Mr. Roboto tour. I've seen all kinds of iterations of Styx. Dennis DeYoung's no longer with them. Tommy Shaw, amazing. I saw Damn Yankees with Tommy Shaw, Ted Nugent, and Benny Blades. That was pretty cool. Just so many memories with Styx. I was able to introduce my son Haven to Styx. Several years ago, we went and saw them in Boston, opening for Boston. Another band that could be on my list. I remember, I'll never forget, after the show, my son says, why did Styx open for Boston? And I said, well, I read a little bit that before every show they were doing on this tour, they would just draw a name out of the hat who would perform first that night. Of course, they were playing in Boston, so Boston headlined. And he's like, Styx blew them out of the water. And I said, yeah, they did. Also, I was able to bring just recently, two years ago, well, right before the pandemic, I was able to bring my girlfriend to see Styx. And Joan Jett, well, it was Extreme, Joan Jett, and Styx. Extreme sucked. Sorry. If you're an Extreme fan out there, and I didn't dig it. I didn't. They come on, they can't hold a candle. Joan Jett rocked. Oh my God, even to this day, at her age, she rocked the frickin' stage. And then Styx came on, and just, you know, the crowd went crazy. Everyone's singing every song with them. It was awesome. Styx, my number 2 favorite band of all time. My throat is not doing well today. Sorry. All right. Number 1. And this might be number 1 on a lot of people's lists. I'm just going to show you. This is the first album I ever bought with my own money. I saved up this money. I went to the store. I bought this album myself and never looked back. The Beatles. This is Love Songs. Love Songs are really cool. Look at this. It came with this really, oh, shoot, let me show you this. Is that awesome or what? You know, I mean, it's got everything on it. Long and Winding Road, Michelle, Something, Yesterday, P.S. I Love You. I mean, everything's on here. This is a double album. Came with this like songbook, really cool. Has all the words to the songs in it. That's pretty cool. Anyways, that was the first album I ever bought in my life for myself. I'm so proud of it. The Beatles, number 1. I'll give you the numbers. English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960. Began actually in 1956 as the Quarrymen. John Lennon had a band called Quarrymen like in school, and he wanted some better musicians, Of course, he got Paul, and eventually Ringo, but he got George. Paul wanted George in the band. George was only like 14. I mean, there's a really cool documentary on, what's it on, Disney Plus, I believe, right now. I'm watching it. It's freaking amazing. Best selling music act of all time. This is mind blowing. Over 600 million albums sold worldwide. Of course, they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1988. I don't know what else to say about this band. I was introduced to this band. This is a cool story. First time I remember ever hearing the Beatles was, remember that story I just told you about Renegade? My friend, his older brother, right? Well, his family had 9 kids in their family. My family had 7 kids in the family, and we lived 2 streets away from each other. And I used to hang out at their house all the time. Another one of their older brothers, his name's Marty, had his bedroom downstairs, and this guy was amazing. He was probably, I don't know, 17 at the time. We were younger, of course. They had this old upright piano. It must have been like his grandmother's or something, but it was out of tune, didn't work. He pulls it into his bedroom and completely goes through the piano, retunes it, fixes it up, and teaches himself, never took lessons, how to play piano. And I walked into his bedroom one day, and yeah, this is what I saw on his wall. He had this like with thumbtacks on the wall. And I was like, who the hell is that? And he goes, I'll show you. And he started just playing Beatles songs on the piano that he taught himself how to do. And that's it. I had to go out and get this album because of that. And, you know, the rest is history. The Beatles, #1 band of all time for me. Always will be. No one will ever, push them aside. No one will ever push Styx aside. Van Halen's always been #3 for me. And then after that, who knows? But anyways, guys, thank you. If you've stayed with me this long, I'm sorry. I can ramble on. But this was really fun for me. I hope, please check out the other channels. The GKBC, which is Graz's channel, of course. Bart and Book Rising with Bart J. Gilbertson. And now Poorly Timed channel. Please, if anybody else has any nostalgia or any feelings, love for music, and would like to do this video, I think it'd be really cool. I'd love to see it. Do it. Go for it. Have fun. You'll be surprised at the nostalgia and the things that come back to you. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe, and always leave comments. I love the comments, and I'll see you later. Peace out.